The stars looked different when you were about to die. Commander Zixthala pressed her long fingers against the cold metal wall of the bridge and watched the enemy ships move closer. Her blue skin had turned pale with fear, and her large eyes reflected the red warning lights that flashed across the control panels. The harmony of stars was the pride of the Galactic Council fleet. It was huge, beautiful, and filled with the smartest beings from 12 different worlds. But right now, it was just a broken ship floating in space, like a dead whale in an ocean. "Engine core is completely dead, Commander," reported Officer Mel Carr from his station. His tentacles moved quickly over the controls, but his voice was full of defeat. "We have maybe 6 hours of life support left. And the pirates?" Zixthala asked, though she already knew the answer. 47 ships. They're surrounding us. The Crimson Syndicate wants our research data, and they want it badly. Zixthala closed her eyes. The research data they carried could change everything. New faster-than-light engines that could cross the galaxy in days instead of months. Every pirate, warlord, and criminal organization in known space would kill for that information. The crew worked frantically around her. 847 beings from races across the galaxy, all brilliant scientists and researchers. None of them were warriors. The Council had sent them to study a strange nebula, not fight pirates. "Can we destroy the data?" she asked. "The storage systems are damaged," Melkar replied. "We can't access the main computers." The communication officer, a small furry creature named Piptel, looked up from her station. "Commander, I'm receiving signals from the pirate fleet. They want to talk." Zixthala knew what that meant. The pirates would offer to let some of them live in exchange for the data. Maybe they would keep their word, maybe they wouldn't. Pirates weren't known for their honesty. "Put them through," she said. The main screen flickered, and a scarred face appeared. Captain Vorth of the Crimson Syndicate smiled with too many teeth. His red eyes glowed with greed. "Hello, Council Dogs," Vorth said. "You have something I want. Give me the research data, and I might let half of you live." "We won't give you anything," Zixthala replied, trying to sound braver than she felt. Vorth laughed. "Look around you, Commander. Your ship is dying. Your weapons are offline. Your engines are dead. I have 47 ships and enough firepower to turn your vessel into space dust. Be smart about this." The screen went dark. Zixthala looked around the bridge at her crew. They were all good people, scientists who wanted to make the galaxy a better place. They didn't deserve to die because of pirate greed. "Send distress signals to all Council fleets," she ordered. Piptel's ears drooped. "I already tried, Commander. The nearest Council ships are 3 days away. The pirates will have boarded us long before then. 3 days. They had 6 hours of life support and 3 days until help arrived." The math was simple and deadly. "What about non-Council ships?" asked Nulkar. "Independent traders, mining operations, anyone who might help?" "I've tried everyone," Piptel said. "Most are too far away. The few who could reach us in time, well, they're not exactly the helping type." Zixthala felt the weight of command crushing down on her. 847 lives depended on her decisions. The future of galactic travel might die with them in this cold corner of space. "Wait," Piptel said suddenly. "There is one possibility." "What?" "The new species. The ones from the Deathworld. They made contact with the Council last month." Zixthala frowned. She remembered the reports. A primitive species from a planet so dangerous that most Council members couldn't believe anything intelligent had evolved there. Their world was covered with predators, poisonous plants, extreme weather, and deadly diseases. The few Council scientists who had studied the planet called it a nightmare. "The humans?" Melkar said. "They're barely out of their own star system. What could they possibly do? Nothing, probably, Piptel admitted, but they're only 8 hours away. Their ships might be primitive, but at least they exist. Zix Thala thought about it. The humans had seemed strange during their first contact with the Council. They were aggressive, unpredictable, and came from a world that should have killed them millions of years ago. Most Council members viewed them as dangerous primitives, who would probably try to conquer their neighbors eventually. But they were. The only option left. Do it, she said. Send them our distress signal. Piptel worked quickly at her station. Message sent, Commander. I included our coordinates, the nature of our emergency, and requested any assistance they might provide. How long until we get a response? If they respond at all, maybe 2 hours for the signal to reach them and their answer to come back. Zix Thala nodded. 2 hours to find out if the Deathworlders would help them or ignore them completely. She looked out at the pirate ships moving into attack formation and wondered if she had just made a terrible mistake. The bridge fell quiet except for the hum of failing systems and the soft beeping of emergency alerts. Everyone worked at their stations, but Zix Thala could feel their eyes on her. They were all thinking the same thing she was. Would the humans help complete strangers? Or would they see this as an opportunity to steal advanced technology from a defenseless ship? Only time would tell. And time was something they didn't have much of left. Admiral Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm changed his life forever. The sharp sound echoed through the Terra Nova Command Center, and every person in the room stopped what they were doing. Sir, we have an incoming transmission, called Lieutenant Carol Davis from the communications station. It's not from any human ship. Jake set down his coffee cup and walked over to her station. Show me. The message appeared on the main screen, translated by the computer into English. Jake read it twice and called for Dr. Lisa Cameron, the team's best alien language expert. Lisa arrived within minutes, her red hair messy from sleep. She had been working late again, studying the new alien languages they had discovered. What do we have? Read this, Jake said, pointing to the screen. Lisa read the message carefully. Her face grew serious. This is real, Admiral. It's a distress call from something called the Harmony of Stars. They're under attack by pirates and asking for help. How far away are they? 8 hours at maximum speed, reported Captain Ryan Brooks from the navigation station. But sir, we don't know anything about this situation. It could be a trap. Jake nodded. Ryan was right to be careful. Humanity had only been part of the galactic community for 1 month. They knew almost nothing about alien politics, wars, or criminal organizations. Get me President Walsh on the secure line, Jake ordered. The call connected quickly. President Katie Walsh appeared on the screen, looking tired but alert. She was in her office in Washington, and Jake could see the early morning light coming through her windows. What's the situation, Admiral? She asked. Jake explained the distress call. President Walsh listened without interrupting, then asked, What's your recommendation? These people are in real danger, Madam President. 847 beings are about to be killed or captured by pirates. If we can help them, we should. But we're risking our ships and our people for complete strangers, said General Chris Martinez, who had joined the call. We barely know these aliens. We don't understand their politics or their conflicts. That's exactly why we should help, Jake replied. This is our first real chance to show the galaxy who we are. Do we want to be known as the species that ignores people in danger? President Walsh was quiet for a moment. Jake could see her thinking, weighing the risks and benefits. Finally, she spoke. Admiral Morrison, you have permission to mount a rescue mission, but I want to be clear about something. We're not going there to fight a war or take sides in some alien conflict. We're going to save lives. Understood, Madam President? How? Many ships will you need? Jake had been thinking about this since he first read the distress call. All of them, Mom. If we're going to do this, we need to do it right. General Martinez looked shocked. All of them? Jake, that's our entire space fleet. Every major warship Earth has. Exactly, Jake said. We're going to show up with enough firepower to end this fight quickly. No long battles, no unnecessary casualties. We hit hard, we save the research ship, and we come home. President Walsh nodded slowly. Do it. But Admiral, I want you to command this mission personally. If we're risking everything, I want our best person in charge. Yes, ma'am. The call ended, and Jake turned to his staff. You heard the President. We're mobilizing everything. I want the HMS Liberty ready to depart in 4 hours. Captain Brooks, contact all fleet commanders. Tell them we're launching the largest rescue mission in human history. The command center exploded into activity. Officers ran to their stations. Computers started calculating flight paths, and communication systems connected to ships across the solar system. Dr. Cameron worked at her station, preparing a response to the alien distress call. Admiral, what should I tell them? Jake thought. For a moment. The aliens probably expected negotiations, or requests for payment, or political discussions. Most species would want to know what they could gain from helping strangers. Tell them help is coming. Hold your position. Lisa looked surprised. That's it. That's it. Keep it simple. 4 hours later, Jake stood on the bridge of the HMS Liberty. Through the windows, he could see the rest of the human fleet preparing for departure. The heavy cruiser New Horizon, commanded by Captain Amy Peterson, moved into formation alongside them. 12 support ships followed, carrying medical teams, engineers, and Marines. Captain Danny Rodriguez, the Liberty's commanding officer, turned to Jake. All ships report ready, Admiral. We can depart on your command. Jake looked out at the fleet one more time. Every major warship Earth had was here, heading into unknown space to help strangers. It was either the bravest thing humanity had ever done, or the most foolish. All ships, this is Admiral Morrison, he said into the communication system. We received a distress call from people in danger. We don't know them, and they don't know us. But that doesn't matter. When someone calls for help, we answer. That's who we are. He paused, looking at the faces of his crew. They were scared, but determined. They understood what they were about to do. Today, we show the galaxy what humans are made of. We're not going there as conquerors or politicians. We're going as neighbors, as people who care about others. Let's bring those people home. The fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed, disappearing into the darkness between stars. Behind them, Earth continued its rotation, unaware that its children were about to change the course of galactic history. In the Omega Nebula, Commander Zix Thala received the human response. 4 words that would be remembered across the galaxy for generations to come. Help is coming. Hold your position. The human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light speed at the edge of the Omega Nebula. Admiral Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the HMS Liberty and stared at the scene before him. 47 pirate ships surrounded a large, elegant vessel. That could only be the harmony of stars. My God, whispered Captain Danny Rodriguez. Look at the size of that research ship. The alien vessel was beautiful, all smooth curves and gleaming metal. But it was clearly damaged. Parts of its hull were dark, and Jake could see atmosphere leaking from several holes. The pirate ships circled it like wolves around a wounded deer. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the research ship, reported Lieutenant Carol Davis. Put it through. The screen flickered, and an alien face appeared. The being had blue skin, large dark eyes, and looked exhausted. When she spoke, The computer translated her words into English. Human ships, this is Commander Zix Thala of the Harmony. Of Stars, thank you for coming, but you should leave immediately. There are too many pirate ships. They will destroy you. Jake stepped forward. Commander, this is Admiral Morrison of the Earth Fleet. We received your distress call. We're here to help. But there are only 13 of your ships against 47. Pirates, this is hopeless. Jake smiled grimly. Commander, you don't know much about humans yet. Captain Rodriguez, signal all ships. Attack Formation Alpha. Target the pirate vessels only. Do not fire on the research ship under any circumstances. Yes, sir. The human fleet moved forward with deadly purpose. The pirate ships had been expecting negotiations or demands for payment. Instead, the humans opened fire without warning. The HMS Liberty's main gun spoke first. Energy beams lanced out across space and struck the nearest pirate ship. The vessel exploded in a ball of fire and debris. The other human ships followed suit, their weapons designed for the brutal conditions of Earth's asteroid fields and solar storms. Captain Vorth of the Crimson Syndicate appeared on the communication screen, his scarred face twisted with rage. What are you doing? We can negotiate. There's no need for violence. You threatened innocent people, Jake replied calmly. The negotiation is over. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Most species fought with long-range weapons and defensive shields, trying to avoid damage while slowly wearing down their enemies. Humans fought like they lived on their dangerous homeworld, with aggressive tactics and shocking brutality. New Horizon, under Captain Amy Peterson, charged straight into the pirate formation. Instead of staying at a safe distance, she brought her ship close enough to ram one of the pirate vessels. The collision destroyed the pirate ship and barely scratched the human cruiser's reinforced hull. These humans are insane, screamed one pirate captain over the communication channels. They're ramming us with their own ships. Lieutenant Tony Parker led a squadron of human fighters that moved through the battle like deadly dancers. The small ships twisted and turned in ways that made the pirates dizzy, using maneuvers developed in Earth's chaotic asteroid belts. One moment they were behind a pirate ship, the next they were underneath it, firing at weak spots in the hull. How? Are they moving like that? Commander Zix Thala asked in amazement as she watched the human fighters. Those maneuvers should tear their ships apart. Her science officer checked his instruments. Commander, these human ships are built to survive, in conditions that would destroy our vessels. Their homeworld's gravity is twice what most species can handle. Their star system is filled with debris and radiation. They build their ships like weapons. The pirates tried to fight back, but they were used to attacking helpless merchants and research vessels. They had never faced warriors from a world where everything was trying to kill you from the moment you were born. Marine Sergeant Kelly Hughes led boarding parties onto damaged pirate ships. The human soldiers moved through the corridors in heavy armor, their weapons designed for close combat. They kicked down doors, threw explosives around corners, and fought with a ferocity that terrified the pirates. Surrender and we'll let you. Live, Kelly shouted to a group of pirates trapped in their own engine room. Keep fighting and we'll leave you for the vacuum. Most of the pirates chose to surrender. Within 2 hours, the battle was over. 23 pirate ships had been destroyed. 15 had surrendered, and 9 had fled into deep space. Not a single human vessel had been lost, though several had damage from their aggressive tactics. Jake opened a channel to the Harmony of Stars. Commander Zix Thala, this is Admiral Morrison. The pirate threat has been eliminated. We're sending medical teams to help with your wounded. The alien commander stared at him in shock. You defeated them all. 47 ships. We did what we came to do, Jake replied simply. Our medical teams are the best in human space. Dr. Ben Clark. We'll coordinate with your doctors to help anyone who needs treatment. Human medical shuttles approached the damaged research ship. Dr. Clark and his teams brought equipment designed to work in the extreme conditions of space. They were used to treating injuries from radiation exposure, decompression, and the thousand other ways space tried to kill humans. Admiral, Captain Rodriguez said quietly, we're receiving messages from across the galaxy. Word of this battle is spreading fast. Jake nodded. He had expected this. Humans had just announced themselves to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. They hadn't sent diplomats or trade delegations. They had sent warships to save strangers. What are they saying? Most species are shocked that we attacked without negotiating first. The Galactic Council is demanding explanations. But Admiral ... double quotes. Rodriguez paused. The research ship crew is calling us heroes. Jake looked out at the harmony of stars, where human medical teams were working alongside alien doctors to save lives. This was humanity's first real interaction with galactic civilization, and they had chosen to be protectors rather than conquerors. Signal. All ships, he said. Begin rescue and recovery operations. Let's get these people home safely. The Deathworlders had spoken, and the galaxy was listening. The medical bay of the Harmony of Stars had never been so busy. Dr. Ben Clark worked alongside 3 different alien doctors, treating injured crew members from the pirate attack. His human medical equipment looked strange next to the advanced alien devices, but it was working better than anyone expected. Your medicine is very direct, observed Dr. Kellenix as she watched Ben treat a wounded Valerian engineer. Most species use gentle healing techniques that take time. You fix problems immediately. Ben smiled as he sealed a cut with a device that looked like it belonged in a mechanic's shop rather than a hospital. On Earth, if you don't fix injuries fast, you die. Our world doesn't give you time to heal slowly. Commander Zix Thala walked through the medical bay, amazed at what she was seeing. Human doctors were treating alien patients with equipment that should not have worked, but somehow did. The humans seemed to understand pain and injury in ways that other species had forgotten. She found Admiral Jake Morrison in the ship's main conference room, sitting across from Captain Danny Rodriguez and a woman she had not met before. Commander. Zix Thala, Jake said, standing up. Please join us. This is Dr. Susan Wright, our Chief Medical Officer, and Nathan Scott, our diplomatic translator. Zix Thala sat down carefully. The humans were so different from other species she had met. They were shorter than most galactic races, but they moved with confidence and strength. Their eyes seemed to see everything, like predators who had learned to hunt in dangerous places. We need to understand what happened here, Jake said. Who were those pirates, and why did they want your research so badly? They were the Crimson Syndicate, Zix Thala explained, the most dangerous criminal organization in this part of the galaxy. They steal technology and sell it to the highest bidder. Our research data contains information about new faster-than-light engines that could change everything. Nathan took notes as she spoke. His job was to understand not just the words, but the meaning behind them. Commander, why didn't the Galactic Council send ships to help you? Zix Thala looked uncomfortable. The nearest council fleet was 3 days away, but also ... double quotes. She paused. The council does not like to fight. They prefer to negotiate, even with criminals. And that's why you called us? Jake said. It was not a question. Yes, we were desperate. Most council members think humans are dangerous primitives from a death world. They believe you are violent and unpredictable. Dr. Wright laughed. Well, they're not completely wrong about the violent part, but we're violent in defense of others, not for conquest. Captain Rodriguez leaned forward. Commander, what will happen now? Will the council be angry that we destroyed those pirate ships? I don't know, Zixthala admitted. This has never happened before. No species has ever responded to a distress call with such overwhelming force. The door opened, and Engineer Bobby Thompson entered with 2 alien technicians. Bobby's uniform was covered in grease and alien fluids, but he was grinning widely. "Admiral, you need to see this," he said. "The damage to their ship is incredible. Their engines were completely destroyed, but not by the pirates. They had a core malfunction that should have killed everyone on board." One of the alien engineers, a creature that looked like a walking tree, nodded his branches. "The human is correct. Our emergency systems failed. We should have died when the core exploded." "But you didn't," Bobby said. "Want to know why?" "Because you built your ship like humans build things. Strong, with multiple backup systems and safety measures. Most species would have made this ship lighter and more efficient. You made it tough enough to survive a disaster." Jake found this interesting. "You mean they think like humans when they design things?" "Exactly. These people are survivors, just like us. That's probably why we could help them so easily. Our equipment works with theirs because we both understand that space is trying to kill you." Communications specialist Rachel Torres entered the room carrying a data pad. "Admiral, I'm receiving multiple signals from across the galaxy. Word about the battle is spreading fast." "What kind of signals?" "Everything. News reports, government communications, private messages. The galaxy is talking about what we did here." Nathan looked worried. "Are they angry?" "Some are," Rachel admitted. "The Council is demanding explanations. Several species are calling us dangerous warmongers. But she smiled. A lot of others are impressed. We're receiving thank you messages from shipping companies, research teams, and independent colonies. Apparently, the Crimson Syndicate has been terrorizing this region for years." Dr. Wright stood up. "Commander Zixthala, I need to ask you something important. The Council thinks we're primitive and violent, but your crew has been working with US for hours now. What do you think?" Zixthala considered the question carefully. She had watched humans risk their lives to save strangers. She had seen human doctors work for hours to heal wounded aliens. She had witnessed human engineers share their knowledge freely to help repair her ship. "I think the Council is wrong," she said finally. "You are not primitive. You are different. You come from a world that taught you to fight for survival, but you chose to fight for others instead of yourselves." Jake nodded. "That's exactly right. Earth made us strong, but we decided to use that strength to protect people, not conquer them." The conversation was interrupted when the ship's communication system activated. A new voice filled the room, speaking in the formal tones of galactic diplomacy. "This is Ambassador Quellinara of the Galactic Council, requesting immediate communication with the human fleet commander." Jake looked around the room at his people and their new alien friends. "I guess it's time to introduce ourselves properly to the galaxy." Rachel activated the communication system. "This is Admiral Morrison of the Earth Defense Fleet. Go ahead, Ambassador." "Admiral Morrison, the Council demands an explanation for your unprovoked attack on Crimson Syndicate vessels. Such aggressive actions violate multiple galactic treaties and threaten the peace we have worked to maintain." The room fell silent. Everyone looked at Jake, waiting to see how humanity would answer its first diplomatic challenge. Jake smiled. "Ambassador, we received a distress call from people in danger. We responded the only way we know how. We protected them by destroying 47 ships without warning or negotiation. By stopping criminals from murdering innocent researchers," Jake replied calmly. "Ambassador, where we come from, when someone threatens your neighbors, you don't negotiate. You stop them." The galaxy was about to learn that humans had very different ideas about justice, protection, and what it meant to be civilized. 3 days later, Admiral Jake Morrison stood in the main conference room of the HMS Liberty, facing the largest gathering of alien diplomats in human history. Representatives from 12 different species had arrived to meet the humans who had shocked the Galaxy Dock Ambassador Quellenara, a tall being with silver skin and 4 arms, led the Galactic Council delegation. She had expected to meet with primitive warriors, but the humans had surprised her from the moment she boarded their ship. "Your vessel is not what we expected," she admitted to Jake as they walked through the Liberty's corridors. "Our reports said humans were barely civilized, but this ship shows advanced engineering." "We build things to last," Jake replied. "When your homeworld tries to kill you every day, you learn to make equipment that won't fail when you need it." The conference room was filled with beings from across the galaxy. Some looked like animals from Earth. Others were so strange that human eyes could barely understand them. But they were all here for the same reason, to understand the species that had changed everything in one afternoon. "Admiral Morrison," Ambassador Quellenara began formally, "the Galactic Council has serious concerns about your actions in the Omega Nebula. You attacked without warning, destroyed numerous vessels, and violated established protocols for interspecies conflict resolution." Jake remained calm. Dr. Lisa Cameron sat beside him, ready to help with translation if needed, but the ambassador spoke perfect English. "Ambassador, with respect, those weren't interspecies conflicts. Those were pirates attacking innocent people. We stopped criminals from committing murder. But the proper procedure is to contact council authorities and request intervention through official channels," protested Representative Mortek, a being that looked like a giant insect. "Violence should always be the last option." Captain Amy Peterson, who had joined the meeting from the New Horizon, spoke up. "Representative, how long would your official channels have taken?" "The standard review process requires 48 to 72 hours for emergency situations." "The research ship had 6 hours of life support left," Amy said simply. "Your proper procedures would have let 800 people die while you filled out paperwork." The alien diplomats shifted uncomfortably. They knew she was right, but it challenged everything they believed about civilized behavior. Commander Zixthala, who had been invited to speak for the rescued crew, stood up. "If I may address the council," she said, "the humans did not ask for payment. They did not demand territory or technology. They risked their lives to save strangers, and when the battle was over, they immediately began helping our wounded. But their methods were so brutal," said Ambassador Nelsari from the Peaceful Worlds Coalition. "They destroyed ships without mercy." "They showed mercy to everyone who surrendered," Zixthala replied. "The pirates who gave up were treated well and will face fair trials. The humans only killed those who kept fighting." Jake decided it was time to address the real issue. "Ladies and gentlemen, I think there's a misunderstanding here. You've been told that humans are dangerous primitives from a death world. That's partially true. Earth is a dangerous place, and it made us tough. But it also taught us something important." He stood up and looked around the room at all the different species. "It taught us that when someone is in trouble, you help them. You don't wait for permission or worry about proper procedures. You act." Dr. Susan Wright activated a holographic display showing medical data. "While we've been talking, our doctors have been working with alien physicians to treat species we'd never met before. Our engineers have been sharing technology to repair damaged ships. Our soldiers have been training with rescued crew members to help them defend themselves. This is what humans do," Jake continued. "We see people in need, and we help. Not because we want something in return, but because it's the right thing to do." Ambassador Quellenara was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she spoke. "Admiral Morrison, the Council has received over 300 requests for human assistance. In the past 3 days, pirates, raiders, and criminals across the galaxy have been terrorizing peaceful species for years. Our diplomatic solutions have been limited in their effectiveness. What kind of requests? Jake asked. Mining colonies under attack by raiders. Research stations threatened by pirates. Trade routes being disrupted by criminal organizations. The kind of problems that require immediate action rather than long diplomatic negotiations. Representative Mortick clicked his mandibles nervously. The Council has voted to offer humanity an official position as protectors of the galactic community. You would be authorized to respond to emergency situations where immediate action is required. Jake looked at his officers. This was bigger than anyone had expected. Humanity was being offered a role as the galaxy's guardians. There would be conditions, Ambassador Quellenara added. You would work with local authorities when possible. You would follow galactic laws regarding prisoners and civilians, and you would report your actions to the Council for review. But we would be free to act immediately when lives are in danger? Jake asked. Yes. Jake thought about Earth spinning peacefully in space while its children spread across the galaxy as protectors rather than conquerors. It felt right. We accept, he said. But we have one condition of our own. What is that? Any species that wants to join us can. Human ships, alien crews, mixed teams. We're not doing this alone. We're building something new. Captain Amy Peterson smiled. A joint task force of species that care more about helping people than following rules. The Galactic Emergency Response Fleet, suggested Nathan Scott. Representatives from any world. That wants to make a difference. Ambassador Quellenara nodded slowly. The Council will consider this proposal. Actually, said Commander Zixthala, you don't need to wait for the Council's decision. The crew of the Harmony of Stars has already voted. We want to join the humans. One by one, other species representatives spoke up. Mining world defenders, trade route protectors, colony guards. They were tired of watching criminals hurt innocent people while governments debated proper procedures. Jake looked out through the conference room windows at the stars. Somewhere out there, people were in danger. Pirates were threatening peaceful ships. Raiders were attacking defenseless colonies. Signal all human ships, he said to Rachel Torres. We're no longer just the Earth Defense Fleet. We're now the Galactic Emergency Response Fleet, and we have work to do. The Deathworlders had found their place in the galaxy, not as conquerors or rulers, but as the guardians who answered when someone called for help. The universe was a dangerous place, but it had just become a little bit safer, because now, when someone sent out a distress signal, they knew that help was coming.